They were getting San Isabel for a little bit, and then they moved to some other temporary spots they set up. Even landowners, they've been stealing their water. So they've been trying to get assessor records to reach out to these property owners to pay them. I don't remember talking. Oh, he didn't talk to me. Okay, click. Okay. Audit. The audit letter. Oh, this is our package, right? Okay. Right. We have a meeting. I don't know shit about this. TP, I guess. Right. I think I've went through enough. I'm proud of you. Proud of you. Hey, when I got the invite, I emailed Boris too and asked him about the that one email. That's probably the biggest one. Right. It's like further investigation has been determined. That's true. That's true. I don't know. Yes. Thanks. Very well. How you been, bud?
Just a reminder, please sign up for public comment if you wish to address the council beforehand. Thank you.
Very informative group. Very informative. That worked out perfect. Out of the three of us, I just helped with everything.
call order the Florence City Council meeting for Monday, July 1st, 2024. Please rise for the pledge. Roll call, please.
Counselor Van Houten.
Here.
Counselor Stiefel.
Here.
Counselor Mergelman.
Here.
Counselor Gardner.
Here.
Counselor Stone.
Here.
Counselor McKinnon.
Here.
Mayor Wolf.
Here. Item 3, presentations. The 2023 audit presentation. Lori? Got a green button? Just push it and get it green, and
Can you hear me now?
yeah, you need to speak loudly into it.
I will do my best. Thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Uli Keeley. I am the city's auditor and here to present the 2023 audit report to council. Happy to report we issued an unqualified opinion, also known as a clean opinion. What I'd like to do is just go over a few of the highlights of the audit report and then be happy to answer any questions that council may have. So as I mentioned, first and foremost, the actual independent auditor's report is the first item in your packet, in your audit packet. You can see in the second paragraph that we, like I mentioned, issued a unqualified opinion. What follows the audit report is about 5 pages of what is called the management discussion and analysis. That is a summarized report of the audit that is prepared by management. It gives a great condensed summary. So, you know, if you do not want to read 50 pages plus of an audit report, I would highly recommend you read the 5 pages that management prepares, and that gives you a pretty good summary of how the year went in 2023. So following that are the actual financial statements of the city. The first 2 pages, so pages 1 and 2, of the audit report are what's called the government-wide financial statements, and those are reported on a full accrual, and they are presented in 2 columns. One of them would be the governmental activities, so that would be your general fund and all of your other little governmental funds, and then the business type activities, which is your water fund. So if you look on page 1, you will see the ending net position of the governmental activities is about 7.6 million, and the business type activities about 17 million. And page 2 will show you how that net position changed from 2022 to 2023. And you will see that in the governmental activities, the net position increased by about $300,000 versus the business type activities, which increased by about $900,000 year over year. So following those 2 government-wide financial statements, you will see the next 2 pages, the fund financial statements. Your primary operating fund is the general fund. You will see the general fund on page 3 shows a fund balance of about 2.8 million, almost $2.9 million. And all the other smaller funds combined have a combining fund balance of about $2.2 million. And I will cover what makes up that $2 million further back in the audit report. So we can discuss that in more detail if you'd like to. Page 5 will show you how the fund balances in the governmental fund and your other smaller funds changed from 22 to 23. And you will see that the general fund increased its fund balance by about $380,000. And all the other smaller funds combined increased by about $276,000. So overall, city had a good year managing expenses, earning revenues. I know some of the revenues, and we can talk about that a little bit later in the budget report, have increased, so resulting in this increase in fund balance. So page 7, 8, and 9 of the audit report are the financial statements of the water fund. The first one being the balance sheet or the statement of net position. And here again, you will see the $17 million that you originally saw on page 1. Same information on this page. On page 8 is the income statement of the water fund. And again, there you will see the $900,000 increase in net position that you saw on page 2 of the audit report. Page 9 shows the cash flow, and that I think is important to note. Even though you're showing a $900,000 increase in net position, your actual change in cash is only about $50,000. So a lot of changes, between payables and receivables, depreciation and so forth, which are non-cash items. Those affect net position, but they don't affect cash. So that's the difference between the two. What follows is several pages of footnotes. Nothing really new in the footnotes this year, except for one footnote that will likely only be in the audit report in 2023, and that is on page 35 of the audit report. And that has to do with the Governmental Accounting Standards Board issuing a new statement that required to be implemented by all governments. So also, including the city of Florence. However, so this standard relates to subscription-based information technology, and we went over all the agreements that the city has, and none of them were deemed subject to this new standard, so we really didn't have to make any changes to the financials and make any adjustments to the financials of the city. So we put the footnote in there saying that we've reviewed it. We will review it every year subsequent to this, but likely we'll never have anything that would require us to make any changes to the financial statements. Page 36 is your budget to actual report for the general fund. And there you will see that your final budget for revenues was about $3.1 million. And your actual revenue was about 3.8. So you had a positive variance in your revenues of $708,000. And corresponding with the expenditure budget, you appropriated about $4.2 million in expenditures and only spent 3.8. So you had a positive variance on the expenditure side as well. So having said all that, in more revenues than you anticipated, less expenses than you anticipated, resulting in $380,000 increase in fund balance. So good management of finances. And then the rest of the audit report are what I mentioned earlier, the smaller non-governmental, non-major funds. And those are on page 39. There you see them listed. The Conservation Trust Fund, Pool, Park and Recreation, Capital Projects, Street Fund, and the Perpetual Care Fund. And you will see All have positive fund balances, all have positive healthy cash balances, resulting in a total cash or total fund balance of about $2.2 million, which we talked about earlier on page 3 of the audit report. And that is all I have for you. I just want to say a big thank you to the finance team. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to prepare for the audit, for the auditor to go through all of the requested items, to get, request information, get questions answered, and I would not be able to do this without the big help of your finance team, to have a smooth audit, to get all the questions answered, to get all the information that I'm asking for is great. So I just wanted to say thank you to Lori Cobbler, her finance team, for doing an excellent job throughout the year and making my job a lot easier. So, any questions you may have?
Any questions from the council? I know I had one a couple years ago. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, because we're all brand new at this.
Right.
There were some concerns over checks and balances and controls and making sure it just didn't fall on the finance director.
Right.
Are those? Do we have good controls in place or checks and balances?
You do. The city has come a long way on this, and checking and testing and talking about internal controls is part of what we do as auditors, so it is not a one-time thing. We ask about this every single year that we come out. We ask, are you still doing things the way you say you're doing them, or have you changed any processes? Have you, has anything changed in in staffing, or who's responsible for it? So we ask about this every year. We do test this. We select samples. We select invoice samples. We select revenue samples. We select payroll samples, and go over the processes and document those processes. And we have done this in the past if we feel like there is a lack of control, or maybe there's room for improvement of a control in a certain area, then we certainly discuss this with finance, with the city manager, and if deemed necessary, put this in an official, what we call a management letter to city council. So that has happened in the past. I'm happy to report we haven't had anything that has come to light in this year or the year before where we felt it was necessary to put it in writing, because we have conversations all the time when we go through the audit work and through the field work. It's just items where we deem this is really something that council needs to be aware of, that we put this in writing.
All right, thank you.
So,
Any other questions from council?
Yeah, I've got a question. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm assume you do other communities, other cities.
I do, yes.
How do you compare Florence to some of the other cities of our size financially? I know we're not as affluent as some, and we may be a little richer than some, but
Yeah.
do we seem to be on course, and we don't have any out of balance departments or things that are concerned compared to other cities?
It's a very difficult question to answer, because in concept, you are all alike, right? You all have more or less the same revenue streams, and you have more or less the same services that you provide to your citizens than any other city. But, geography is an issue. Are you close to the metro area? Are you far out, in the country? Or so it's difficult to compare one city to another. But as far as how the city of Florence is operating, and how you are staffed, and how you manage your finances, is I mean, I as an auditor, I have no complaints. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's,
Any other questions? Well, Yuli, thank you for that report.
thank you.
You bet. And big thanks to Lori and everybody on her staff who helped put all this together, because I know the audit is a stressful time for everybody. So thank you. Good job. All right, item 4, public comments. There were no one signed up for public comments, correct, Courtney? Item 5, consent agenda. Item A, consider approving the minutes as written for the regular city council meeting on June 17, 2024. Item B, consider approving city expenditures prepared on June 20, 2024 in the amount of $20,105.10 and June 27, 2024 in the amount of $101,687.59.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the consent
Oh,
agenda.
yeah, wait. Okay, I gotta ask the question first.
Oh, ask.
Okay, is there any council member wish to pull item A or B from the consent agenda? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, you do have a motion.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Old business, number 6, old business. Considering approving the second reading of ordinance number 7, 2024, designating 105 West Main Street, the Knights of Pythias Castle Hall as a local historic landmark. Ashley?
Did you guys have any questions concerning this agenda item, since it is a second reading?
Anybody have any questions? I think we had all of our questions answered at the first reading.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 7, 2024?
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 7, 2024, an ordinance designating 105 West Main Street, Florence, Colorado, also known as Knights of Pythias Castle Hall, to the local historic registry based on the finding of facts that have been met as listed in Municipal Code 15.60.080.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Counselor Stone,
Yes.
Counselor Gardner,
Yes.
Counselor Van Houten,
Yes.
Counselor Stiefel,
Yes.
Counselor Mergelman,
Yes.
Counselor McKinnon,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Item 7, new business. Consider approving ordinance number 8-2024, an ordinance approving rezoning of lots 17 through 20, Block L of the United Oil Company's Mesa subdivision from L1 Light Industrial Zone District to R1 Low Density Residential Zone District. Ashley?
Yes. The applicant wishes to rezone the property to allow for the construction of a single-family home. New residential uses are only allowed in I-1 light industrial zone districts as a watchman quarters to another permitted use. Therefore, rezoning is necessary. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on June 20th, 2024, and voted unanimously to recommend to City Council that the subject property be rezoned to R1 low-density residential, finding that the property was not properly zoned when existing zoning was imposed, and there has been a material change in the neighborhood which justifies the requested zone change. Is there any additional questions regarding this subject?
First, I'll ask, is there any public comment on this? Okay, hearing none. Any questions for Ashley? Did we change the zoning for another property up there close by?
Yeah, it's the lot straight south to that,
Okay. On Pine Street down
on Pine Street, yes.
just south of that. We've already approved that. Okay. Any other questions? We have a motion to approve ordinance number 8-2024.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 8-2024, an ordinance approving rezoning of lot 17 through 20, Block L of the United Oil Company's Mesa subdivision from one
I1.
light industrial zone district to R1 low density residential zone district.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions, further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Gardner,
Yes.
Counselor Mergelman,
Yes.
Counselor Van Houten,
Yes.
Counselor Stiefel,
Yes.
Counselor Stone,
Yes.
Counselor McKinnon,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Item 7B, consider adopting resolution number 7-2024, a resolution allowing an indoor amusement and entertainment establishment as a use by special review at 111 Church Avenue. Ashley?
Yes, the building is in the C General Commercial Zone District, and an indoor amusement and entertainment establishment is a permitted use, is a special use review only. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 16th and unanimously voted in favor of recommending to City Council the approval of the application for an indoor amusement and entertainment establishment at 111 Church Avenue, contingent upon a parking plan that addressed lighting, safety, and a CDOT sanitation and Florence Fire Department consultation. The referral agency comments are listed here in the staff report. The Planning Commission convened on June 20th, 2024, following a review of the provided details, unanimously voted in favor to endorse the parking plan submitted for 111 Church Avenue. Do you have any questions regarding the staff report or any other items?
First, we'll ask if, as a new item, new business, is there any public comment? On this, public comment on this item right here. Okay, hearing none, are there any questions from the council for Ashley?
So Ashley, I do have a question about the CDOT. It's a new site highway access permit.
Yes.
Has that been approved, or they just?
It's in the middle of the process. I did hear from CDOT today. They're requesting more additional information. I do have a meeting set up with them tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
So approval of this would be contingent upon.
That can be one of your conditions.
And the other question I had on, it says the Florence Fire Department has met with the applicant about the sprinkler system, the fire department connection, access to building, and the gate on the south side of the property. And I wrote down, and what were the results of that? Did they find that it was sufficient?
I apologize, yes. The fire department found that the sprinkler system is sufficient, and the applicant has said that they would upgrade the system if needed. The fire department connection, which is on the back of the building, is to remain accessible, and the applicant agreed to that. And the gate to the south, on the south side of the property, is already gated, and it'll be locked, but the fire department will have what they call a Knox box, where they have a key, so they'll have access to the gate and the building in case of an emergency.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve resolution number 7-2024? As stated there, with any contingencies that anybody would like to make?
Okay, I'd like to make the motion to approve Resolution 7-2024, a resolution allowing an indoor amusement and entertainment establishment as a use by special review at 111 Church Avenue, contingent upon the CDOT approval of the parking meeting code. Is that correctly stated?
No, it would be for the,
I think it was access to.
access to
State highway access permit.
state highway access. Okay.
Do we have that correct, Cortland? Okay.
I'll second.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor McKinnon,
Yes.
Counselor Van Houten,
Yes.
Counselor Stiefel,
Yes.
Counselor Mergelman,
Yes.
Counselor Gardner,
Yes.
Counselor Stone,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, item 8, council updates. James.
So I attended the CML conference a couple weeks ago. A lot of interesting courses going on, talking about things. I ended up going to one that was What's New at DOLA. You know, a lot of new things coming out of that group. Lots of possibilities for grants. They say they have lots of money to hopefully we can get involved with and do something. One that was really interesting, I went to one about pickleball and how a lot of communities are putting rules and regulations around where pickleball courts are built and how far they are from residents and that kind of stuff. So it was real interesting to see this game causing the amount of trouble it is in the community. So very interesting. Another one that I went to was about EDI, equity, diversion, and inclusion. Very interesting comments that they made and how it does affect the communities. And another one was on homeless and being compassion and the courage to support those things and that there are certain things that you can and cannot do when dealing with the homeless and that kind of stuff. So very, very interesting, a lot of knowledge there. So thank you.
Yeah, I know the Supreme Court just came out today with a ruling on homeless, and I haven't seen the results, but I know it'll impact all municipalities, communities, cities, big and large. Okay, Matt?
I also had the opportunity to attend the CML conference. Wish I could have went to every lecture, but unfortunately we had limited time and multiple lectures happening at once. Had the opportunity to go to lectures on cultivating civility, affordable housing, the updated land use and planning laws, city manager police relations, universal broadband access, information from DOLA regional managers, which was very valuable, revitalization of mobile home parks, and the one I enjoyed the most, engaging youth in municipal government. So luckily all three of us split the classes up, tried not to attend them all at the same time, and a lot of good information. I'm looking forward to next year.
Okay.
Also, before I forget, I would really like to thank our water department this weekend for assisting airport operations. We have the Beulah fire going on. A lot of firefighters out there needed access to water, didn't have the appropriate wrench. Gave Brandon a call, and we were able to get somebody out there in about 20 minutes to help those firefighters out. So much appreciated to those guys.
Thank you, Matt. And again, all the CML information that the three of you gathered, we may figure out a time to where we can talk about it as council and see where we can take it.
Absolutely. And all of the lectures and slides should be available on the CML website at this time.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Rudel?
I just want to remind everybody about the 4th of July coming up this Thursday. And the city welcomes everybody to the festivities, starting at 10 o'clock with the parade downtown.
Yeah. What else is going on?
After the parade, we go to the park, and there's a big park party with food trucks and games, buck and bull, free swimming, bring your lawn chairs, spend the day. Got a concert starting at 12:30.
12:30 or 1, yeah. Go for 4 hours. Yep.
We got the duck race, the famous duck derby comes down the creek there, probably around 1. And we got 5,500 ducks this year. And then we sit around the park all afternoon having fun, and they're going to have something about beer. And then fireworks at dark. So the fireworks show gets bigger every year. So come spend the day and spend the evening in Florence.
Thank you, Rudel.
I'd
Brenda?
like to thank the city for putting on this 4th of July and all the festivities that's going on. And Sam, thank you for your crew, all the work you do. I did attend the funeral procession of our World War II vet that was laid to rest this weekend, and I'm so proud of the Florence citizens that all showed up and honor him.
Tammy?
I also attended the CML. A lot of knowledge and some good connections of some different organizations that we work with. So it was nice to put a face to different people. And I got to run a 5K there. That was very exciting. And I also attended the service yesterday or Saturday. Yeah, it was. Thanks for all the citizens for coming out.
Gail?
Echo thank you to the citizens. It was amazing, the youngsters that showed up with parents. So that was very refreshing, all the youngsters that were there. Preservation last week, we have 3 applications in progress. They're not ready to be its first reading at preservation yet, and 2 more of interest. We'll see where that goes. And shoot, I had one more thing. Evidently not that important. Okay.
All right, well, it comes back to you. Okay. All right, mayor's report. Attended senior coffee chats and listened to citizens and their issues and concerns. Met with Brad Rowland at Emerging Campus and Chris Cohn, and he's there with his company. Looked at the trees along 3rd and 2nd Street that were identified in the hazardous tree study. We talked about grants in general, and we ended up getting a 4th of July donation from Chris Cohn and his company. I stopped by the movie night. Again, thanks to the Florence Police Department for putting this on. Is the chief back there? I attended the Colorado Outdoor Regional Partnership Initiative meeting at Pathfinder Park. This is something that has developed out of a executive order from Governor Polis. District 11 is considered the Pikes Peak Outdoor Regional Alliance, and it covers parts of El Paso, Teller, and Fremont County. And it's interesting because the line of where they're looking at actually stops north of the Arkansas River. Does not contain or not part of the Arkansas corridor itself. What they're trying to do is throughout the state coordinate efforts by all entities involved in outdoor recreation. And the best thing I can relate it to is the Arkansas Headwaters Recreation Area, which goes from basically Penrose, Florence, all the way up to Leadville. And that's just a collaboration of all sorts of entities and governmental agencies, and they do a great job in managing the upper Arkansas. And they want to have that type of cooperation amongst everybody. So basically, you draw a circle around Pikes Peak and bring it down to just north of the Arkansas River and all the outdoor activities that go on there. I also made contact with Ashley Sack and the Royal Gorge Bighorn Coalition, which is something that City Manager Amy has been invited to and is part of. And again, they'll be looking at resources and coordinating efforts along the Arkansas River, the Bighorn Canyon, Canyon City, and then down into Florence. There's a lot of desire to get river activities all the way down to our river park, if we can do that. Again, I represented Florence at the interment service for Clifford Strickland at the Union Cemetery on Saturday. It was a very moving ceremony. I know it was highlighted in the Daily Record this morning, so you can read about it there. Again, down at the park with the motorcycle and motorcade that drove through, and again, it was great to see the families and their children and watching parents talk to their children about what that meant. And I thought that was really cool. And just for those that don't know, Clifford Strickland, he died 82 years ago on the Bataan Peninsula. as part of the Death March and died at the prisoner of war camp there. And the Army has, through DNA, started to identify these soldiers. You know, and I could tell it was some closure, and hopefully it brings some comfort to the family. It's something they've been working with the Department of Defense for years. And I'd like to thank the city staff that were involved. I know Q worked with Ed Freshauer from the American Legion Post here in town. Our Florence PD helped out. The cemetery staff, Sean and Jonas, were there, and they helped lower it into the plot. And also the Florence Fire Department and the American Legion Post. County commissioners are there, Justin Kurth, who represented Representative Peterson, and state representatives at the state level were down there. And it was a big deal. So thanks to everybody that was there. I've been in some discussions about the Pioneer Park issue with Amy. I know Tammy has brought it up to me, some of the issues with Pioneer Park bathroom. And, you know, we recognize some needs and maybe some changes that have to happen there. And so we will be in discussion with that. You know, we've got to work through opening and closing. We've got to work through the vandalism issues. We've got to work through the homeless issue during the evening. But it is on our radar, and we'll be working through that. You know, and I've asked the city to post information on the bathroom, looking at maybe their hours and explaining the situation on the website. And you know, I think they already started doing that today. So thank you. I've also, over the last couple months, I'm getting some letters from citizens concerning a police blotter. And I replied to every citizen that gave me their return address. I did that this weekend, and I've gotten a couple of replies back from them already. But I just want to read, this is my statement considering the issue of the police blotter. I'd like to address a topic that continues to come up regarding the potential or need for the city to publish a police blotter. This decision is fully within the purview of the city manager, and based on operational strategies and resource allocation, after careful consideration and reconsideration, it's been determined that at this time and for the foreseeable future, dedicating staff time and energy to this task would divert resources away from more critical services. There have been claims that the city has resources for other programs like the tree program and the outside agency funding. These programs have been directed by the city council, and they provide a real tangible benefit to the community. They are managed by the city manager personally due to limited staff capacity. And suggesting that we divert these efforts to create a police blotter is not at the best interest of the city. We continually strive to recognize important issues for the community. Furthermore, it's worth noting that larger, better staffed agencies in our area, such as Fremont County and Canyon City, do not publish a blotter with all calls. They only provide arrest and summons information that are published. Currently, any arrests made by the Florence Police Department are processed through the Sheriff's Office and can be viewed on the Fremont County Crime Watch website, just like the Canyon City Police Department and the Fremont County Sheriff's Office. And this information is available to the public. They keep it updated. Also, anyone seeking additional information can easily access it through proper channels, including the Colorado Open Records Act requests. We have consistently processed these requests promptly, even waiving fees when necessary. And to be clear, no information is being withheld, and all information remains accessible subject to CORA and other relevant laws. And this ensures fairness and transparency as mandated by legislation. I have brought this topic up to many citizens and have not identified a need or desire for a police blotter. None of the other council members have been approached by citizens or their constituents on this subject. The only direct communication I know about is the form letter that was sent to me. And like I said, I've replied to all those citizens who had a return address on it. and some social media posts. There is no research indicating that a police blotter deters crime or provides timely trends when published after the fact. And that was the main feedback that I received. And again, it is our responsibility to make the best use of available resources for the benefit of the community. As you may or may not know, the city has started a constant contact program that allows citizens to receive updates on events and general information from the city. The form includes a public safety section with options for neighborhood activity and police announcements. And this would be the venue that if something was happening in town, you could get information on it instantly. I was camping at Antero this week, and I got an alert on Constant Contact about the accident that occurred, and it was, I was able to check in on that. I believe this, and the other example I had was, if there was an escape from one of the local prisons, that would be something that would be put on our Constant Contact and just out to everybody right now. And I believe the city will become adept at using this system for real-time dissemination of critical information for the citizens of the Florence area, just not within the boundaries of Florence, but within the whole Florence area. And I encourage all citizens to sign up, and there's a paper sign-up form on the back counter. You can go to the website, and I would encourage everybody to sign up for that. I think it's something that will be invaluable in our communications and our transparency. Okay, city manager report.
Well, you all stole almost all my stuff.
I'm sorry.
So.
I'm sorry.
The street needs assessment is finishing up soon, so just in time for budget season to be about to start. So that will help us in prioritizing projects moving forward with the budget. So as soon as we have received that, have had time to analyze it and prepare it, that will be available. The issue of the bathroom. So we are going to be addressing some of those logistical issues in our staff meeting tomorrow, in our directors meeting, and I will be communicating what some of the outcome of that is with the council first, and then determining how to move forward from there. We have been utilizing Constant Contact for various items over the past couple weeks, some updates, 4th of July information, a recent press release from the police department, and Amanda from the police department, Amanda Nelson, recently started a safety tip of the week. The first one went out today, so I think that's going to be a great tool to use. If you've signed up for emails and haven't gotten anything, please check your spam folder. If you're still not getting anything, please feel free to contact us and we can troubleshoot it in case we've transposed a couple letters in your email address or something like that. We'll be happy to help.
Because you set it up for all of us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And as Councilman Stiefel mentioned, the firefighting aircraft are pulling water from the airport station. Public Works and water work together on this, and there is no impact to the water system overall or overall water usage or availability.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? I just want to, our first ARPA tree program report will be due first week of August, correct?
It will go into the city manager report in the first council meeting for August. Yes.
For August, okay. And we are proceeding and the ball's rolling.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. City attorney report?
I also went to the CML conference, but I did everyone a favor and I attended all the dry, boring legal ones. So, no, it was very informative. Some like everyone said, some good education and learning and sort of things to keep an eye out as they come down the road. So hopefully we'll be prepared when the time comes.
Okay. City clerk, anything to add on 4th of July?
Rudel nailed it.
Okay.
All information is on the website and on the city's Facebook page.
Okay. Thank you. Sam, since you're here, anything from Public Works?
Well, today we went up and we assembled the mortar tubes and got them set up for the fireworks on We got all the buckets out today. Got them all cleaned up. We're ready to lay water down now the 100 block of East Main. The park, everything's coming together. Ducky Derby, we're gonna dump the water at 6 o'clock Thursday morning. I see the creeks have made it. We had the creek reverted last week. Me and Brandon collaborated. See if it's gonna hurt the watershed for him, for us as citizens or not. He says it is not. So the water is in the creek now. Not quite enough, but we'll get there and stuff. And I've been contacting Joe Henry and Jessica. We'll go ahead and meet them at 6 o'clock Thursday morning to go ahead and dump the creeks and get those ducks are floating down there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really, really busy. We're gonna start at 3 o'clock Thursday morning. We're setting up all the barricades, water, and everything. And let's have a very safe and happy 4th of July.
Like I say, it takes a village to run the 4th of July. Yeah, but again, thanks to everybody for all their work. All right, any other? Okay, number 9, executive sessions. I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session for the city manager performance review pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024F. Discussion of a personnel issue, specifically the city manager's performance review, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees. Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Wolf,
Yes.
Counselor Stone,
Yes.
Counselor Van Houten, Counselor Stiefel,
Yes.
Counselor Mergelman,
Yes.
Counselor Gardner,
Yes.
Counselor McKinnon.
Yes.
Motion approved. We'll move into executive
And,
session.
Mayor, can you clarify who's going to be going into the executive
yeah.
session outside of us?
Going into executive session will be City Council, City Manager Amy Nasta, City Attorney Dan Finley.
That's all we need.
Thank you, Matt.
sticking around.
You didn't fix the air.
Oh, yeah, she did. She moved the fan closer.
She was. All right. And remind me of the procedures here, Dan. If it's,
Yeah, we just announced that we're back from open
Okay.
session or executive
we're-
session and
we're
resume.
back from executive session at 7:42. Okay. Anybody like to make any comments or
Any public comment?
any public comments? Okay. Does any council member have any other item for an executive session they would like to call? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned, 7:43.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.